They run on volunteers. You know, nobody's in a paid position, certainly on the football side. So it's a case of, you know, if people don't step up and do it, then, you know, the thing falls away.
Grassroots football can't exist without volunteers, and there's an awful lot of enjoyment to get out of volunteering. It's not just about winning games, you know, just getting games on sometimes is a success story.
Good afternoon, welcome to Billing Road for today's fixture between Northampton ON Chenecks and Anfield Town.
Based just a short distance from Northampton's town centre is the ON Chenecks, who are looking to battle back from relegation last season. They are a unique club compared to the others at their level, but just who are they?
Yeah, well, we are part of a three-sport setup here at Old Northamptonians. There's a rugby section, a cricket section and a football section that started in 1945. For the vast majority of that time, the club played in the United Counties League. It was relegated last season, and it now plays in the Spartan South Midlands League Division 1.
But how did the club get to this point? To answer that, we need to go back to the 1940s, when Frank Sinatra was topping the charts. The Queen frontman Freddie Mercury was born, and the Second World War took place. But it was the year 1946 when the letters from the Northampton Grammar School houses Chipsey's, Spencer, Beckett and St Crispin's were used to create the original team name. Then in 1960 they joined the cricket and rugby sides at the Old Northamptonians Association. This move would prove to be a success, joining the United Counties League and getting promoted to Division 1. Further success would come a few years later, winning the league by a strong points margin, but they weren't able to get promoted, just like in 1980 when they won the league again, but they weren't able to be promoted due to the stadium not being up to the requirements. 5 years later, the club would win their first cup competition, and it would be another 25 years before their next piece of silverware, winning the Junior Cup at the now demolished Neen Park. After further ground improvements, the club were able to play in Football Association national competitions, the first of which was the FA Vase. Then came 2016, one of the most historic years for the club, with promotion to the Premier Division of the United Counties League and the first appearance in the FA Cup. But after a 1-1 draw with league leaders Real Bedford the previous weekend, the Chenecks knew that their best hope for promotion would be through the playoffs, with second place theirs to secure. But behind every promotion push, there is a team behind the scenes working tirelessly to keep the club running, and sometimes those people can even be part of the coaching staff.
What would you call me? I guess I'm just sort of an extra body around the club in general. So I'm primarily involved with the first team as part of the management team. Have been for the majority of this season. I also help with regards to our under-18s as well, on as many match days as I can.
The roles I have on a match day are many and varied, apart from before the game arranging that the officials are notified, that the opposition is notified, and that sometimes causes problems, officials dropping out at the last minute, having to contact people not knowing exactly where our ground is and getting queries of that nature. But on the day, it's everybody does a bit of everything.
A lot of clubs at our level depend on the more help and volunteers that you can, doing lots of different things as part of the club. So whether it be fundraising or arranging events, or just helping out around the ground and things like that. So I tend to get involved in a lot of things around the club.
Today, for example, I was up here at 10 o'clock this morning forking some waterlogged parts of the pitch, and at some point this afternoon I'll no doubt be running down Billion Road, well, walking down Billion Road to recover a ball that's been squirmed out of the ground. So it's basically you do anything that makes sure the game's on.
The Chenecks welcome local rivals Selby Rangers to Billion Road for the first semi-final in the promotion playoff stages. Despite there being 14 points separating the two sides in the final league table, Selby Rangers took the Chenecks all the way to a penalty shootout. After a tense encounter that saw both goalkeepers make saves, it was the Chenecks that booked their place in the playoff final. But despite their success, the club wouldn't be able to run as smoothly as it does if it wasn't for the volunteers, something that less people are starting to choose to do, and this is going to have a long-term effect on the viability of some non-league clubs.
You know, they run on volunteers. You know, nobody's in a paid position, certainly on the football side. So it's a case of, you know, if people don't step up and do it, then, you know, the thing falls away. You know, I've seen in recent years a lot of good local clubs that unfortunately have had the same people doing those roles for so long, and obviously naturally as they get older and they struggle to do those things and nobody takes that responsibility over, clubs have fallen away. You know, real good clubs that have been around for, you know, 20, 30, 40 years and had some good times and have had good people following them and good people involved in them. And because they haven't had people step up, they will naturally fall away. You know, there's no secret or magic to that. You know, it is people literally stepping up, putting their hand up and taking responsibility for fundraising, driving things, you know, driving activity off the pitch, you know, really putting the time and effort and hours in to, you know, do numerous types of activity.
The only problem is that it's a diminishing situation now. Not many people put their names forward, unfortunately.
It's not just Chenecks, it's very important that people volunteer at all levels of football, apart from the very rich ones. I think grassroots football can't exist without volunteers, and there's an awful lot of enjoyment to get out of volunteering. It's not just about winning games, you know, just getting games on sometimes is a success story.
It's the final match day of the season, Northampton ON Chenecks versus Rugby Borough, with promotion awaiting the winner. However, it would be Rugby Borough that would take the lead in the opening 45 minutes, with another goal coming in the second half. The Chenecks weren't able to find their way back into the game and had to settle for defeat, ending their unbeaten run and falling at the final hurdle at the first time of asking. But if the Chenecks weren't playing football, where would the volunteers go instead?
If it's 3 o'clock on a Saturday, I'm watching a game of football somewhere.
So I would be involved or watching some football somewhere without doubt.
It wasn't a fairy tale ending for the Chenecks, but the club are in a strong place both on and off the field. Maybe next season they can do one better than Rugby Borough and mount a title challenge.